What do you call a skeleton who's always bragging? A bony phony.
Amy, if your neighbor's rooster comes onto your property and lays an egg in your garden, who owns the egg? Fred. Gee, I don't know. Who? Amy. Nobody. Roosters can't lay eggs. These are really bad.
Son, Mommy, the kids at school all say I eat like a monster. That's not true, is it? Mother, of course not. But how many times do I have to tell you to stop eating with your hands and use a shovel?
Emmy, can I share your sled? Mike. Sure, we'll go half and half. Emmy, thanks. Mike. I'll have it for downhill and you can have it for uphill.
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy. Calling all creep.
Boo Dudes! Welcome to the final episode of Calling All Creeps. I am your host, Pignut. I'm here with Winnie Pooh.
Hey, Winnie Pooh. We're back.
We're back.
And then we're not.
And then we're gone forever. But right now, in this moment, we are back. This is a special episode for obvious reasons. And then I have to say, Dave, we are in the same room right now.
It's weird. I
Yeah.
can see your mouth move when you talk.
Yes.
I see your shorts. I can kind of see up the little leg of the side.
I have a short inseam. And I know that's the thing right now, and I'm going with the trend, baby. A lot of thigh. This is Foley work.
If you were a original Power Rangers bad guy, you would be Thigh Guy.
I am thigh guy.
Yeah.
Yes. We're both full of pancakes. Is that accurate?
Flapjacked to the max, my friend.
I feel
so
jacked.
many.
I feel jacked. We get to execute this episode without a delay. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was sipping, so there was a delay.
But we won't be talking over each other. Go ahead, Dave.
After you.
Dave, go ahead.
After you.
Me?
Yeah.
Dave, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to
You know what I was going to say is that I'm very excited about our last
You
episode.
pooped my pants. That's right.
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, not only that, but
Dave, go ahead.
Today, when we went to go get all of those pancakes that we ate, too many of, we went to a used bookstore in search of Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Which they only had a Slappy World.
True. Yeah.
We're not going to read those.
Very disappointing, I have to say.
But also the opposite of disappointing, because we were
Very
like,
excited.
is there a kids' joke section? Mm-hmm. There was like 9 books in there?
Yeah, I mean, this is the long shot, right? Yeah. Like, I thought the opposite. They'd have a bunch of Goosebumps and not what we were looking for.
Instead, they had 4 of those 9 books, which are 101 wacky kid jokes, 101 vacation jokes, 101 school cafeteria jokes, and the crown achievement of our find, 101 creepy creature jokes, all by the one and only jovial Bob Stine.
Jovial Bob Stine. It's written on the books. It's incredible. This is a artifact, a cultural artifact.
And it's crazy too, because these books were a mere $1.95 when you had originally bought them.
Right.
And you can tell they're gaining value because how much were they?
$2 each.
$2 each. So
I mean, that's pretty good.
And when did they come out? I mean, it's probably just stacking.
They're all 1990 from what I can tell. The monster one is October 1990, so that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, $2.50 in Canada. So we're gonna dig into these whenever there's like a moment of where we like, I don't know, we kind of tune out or stop talking and thinking. We'll just grab one of these, hit you with a fucking delicious premium joke.
Carl, gee, it's dark out tonight, isn't it? Christy, I don't know, I can't see.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's like, you can't tell it's dark because it's so dark.
Yeah. This,
Christy's a real fucking idiot. That's the joke. Or she's blind. That'd be the real one. Okay, hold on. Let's try again.
Oh.
Carl. Gee, it's dark out tonight, isn't it? Christy. Fuck you, Carl. You know I'm blind. And now Christy's not an idiot. Carl is an asshole.
Yeah, and it's not Christy. It's actually Matt Stein, right?
Oh,
It's our old son.
full circle.
Yeah. What has 200 legs, 100 heads, and horns? A monster marching band. Oh. All right. Well, so what's the itinerary? I think it's we're going to talk about our faves and our not so faves, right? Not necessarily in this order.
No.
And we're gonna kill some of you. We're going to
Mailbag.
yeah, we're gonna answer some questions, and we'll do some a little segment at the end maybe.
We'll talk about our experience. I mean, as tragic as it is, it's like a true life documentary, or it's like Behind the Music, MTV. We had to read 62 fucking children's books.
I mean, yeah, we saw it through. We did it to the end.
Actually, I think this is episode 75.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And I don't think there are any that we didn't read. There's maybe 2 that we didn't read books for, I think, out of all of them.
Right.
3. We watched an episode. Oh, 4. We watched an episode for 4 of them. And there was the one, April Fool's.
Right. Where it was, we just kind of.
We just didn't want to read another Bailey School book.
Yeah, we're just riffing it. It's hard to get some of those Bailey School books.
They're hard to get, and also they're terrible.
They're very bad and not worth it.
They're
so.
painful to read through.
Yeah,
And
I
like,
mean, way worse than Goose. It does make you appreciate Goosebumps.
It does, because like the only reprinted ones are, I guess, like the real gems that people remember.
Yeah.
And if those are the gems, then I can only imagine the other ones.
Yeah.
It's fucking trash, man.
Fucking trash. Look, Debbie Daddy, get it together. Figure it out. I don't know. You got some hits in there. You got Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots. That was fine. You got Eddie's a Big Piece of Shit. You got,
What was the one? It's like Grandpa's dead and he ate our potato chips.
Mm-hmm. Grandpa's dead and ate our potato chips.
Wasn't the end of that like Grandpa wasn't dead?
Yeah, I think it was like Grandpa worked at the potato chip factory and he sliced his little dick off in the potato slicer. He got
But then
fried up.
to like make it just so he'd have like a relationship with his wife, your grandmother, he would put all of his sliced up dick into a Pringles can and use that as his erect penis.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she thought that was an improvement, which is fair, All right, potato dicks. Let's get rocking and rolling here. Dave, what do you want to do first? Do you want to? I was thinking we'd kick into some questions, kind of to get us off on the right foot.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
great.
We got some questions.
Do you want to bring them up solely, or you want me to?
It's up to you. I don't
conjure
care.
them
I
as
just
well?
have them all screenshotted.
Oh, perfect. Then
Because there was some that disappeared on Instagram before.
So you can be the source then.
All right. So let's go through. Logan De La Cruz Studio.
Yes, shout out Logan, great artist.
Incredible artist.
Nice to hear from Logan when he shouts out. What kind of question does he ask?
His first question is, what's next for you two?
Oh well, we're gonna record. I'm supposed to be home for dinner. So I'll probably head out not too late. I also my bedtime is like 10 o'clock. So I think dinner with my wife and sleep is next for me. How about you, Dave?
A branch just slapped our window. It's a spooky episode.
That's scary. Are we in the basement? Did we go in the basement? Is that the plant dad?
That's the plant, Dad.
Shit.
I don't know what's for me. I guess what for us, I mean, Matt and I are always, it's not like we're going to stop talking to each other. It's just like, you know how like sometimes it'll be like a couple will go through such a horrific experience and they can't stay together anymore. Like it's bad, but it's not like that.
I think this has made us stronger.
I think it has.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, probably not like I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll do something else.
I mean, like, I'd say stay subscribed on whatever you use, because who knows? Maybe something will happen in the Goosebumps world, or we'll just want to do something stupid.
We'll pop in. Dave, I wanted to actually tell you that Lauren and I, producer Chib and I, watched the first Fear Street movie.
Really?
I know we're late on this because the first one came out, 3 weeks ago or something. Really good. I like the first one. So I really I want to check out the second too.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so it just reminded me of that because there's other stuff that comes up, and if we so feel inclined to talk about it, we will.
Yeah. And then Jake I said, "Don't stop making podcasts, please."
That's very nice.
That's very nice of you.
We
Next
are
question is
today stopping forever.
Yeah, we need a break.
Yeah.
And breaks are however long. This isn't like a 15-minute break.
Yeah, right. It's we were talking off pod a little bit about it's like anything that you enjoy once you make it something you have to do and something that people expect, or not even that, but it's like you put the pressure on yourself and you have to like fucking do homework, and then it becomes not so fun or enchanting.
And also in the world of like not being able to see things through, just that we finished it and could put a stamp on we did every single one.
Yeah.
And it worked. It was good. It was fun. We had a lot. I mean, obviously from all these questions, we had a lot of people come back to us.
Great.
So it was a lot of fun.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, quality might have ebbs and flowed depending on how we were feeling, but that's fine. You know what you're getting. Again, we said there's better podcasts about Goosebumps out there. That's not why you're tuning in.
Yeah. I mean, it's more about like we get negative comments too, where it's like somebody may really just want to listen to Bad Hair Day, but instead it's 45 minutes about your butthole and the doctor's visits you went to for your butthole.
Yeah. Look, if you don't want to know the ins and outs of my little life, I'd say unfollow, baby.
Another listener, one name, came to the comic shop and mentioned something about like outside of life about you and I as like a joke, and I was like, holy shit, I forget that like so much is out there.
Yeah, we put out a lot of details, which I just comes out. Look, it is like we're just chatting, you know. So
much like the poop in our butt, it just comes out.
It just comes out, baby. Good Lord. What's the next question?
This is from Rise MB. Do you think old RLS ever used ghostwriters?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah. For
the main 62?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. But we have it on authority that he did for Goosebumps 2000 or one of the series between.
Give Yourself Goosebumps, I think he had ghostwriters.
Okay, yeah.
But for the original 62, I actually don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Because like especially blowing through them all like bi-weekly, you can see it's kind of like you were reading the subtext of like a man's mental health and stuff. Like to the point where there's no point where we read a book and we were like, oh, some fresh eyes on this franchise.
No, you can tell they're all coming from him.
Yeah.
But it's fine, and then also he arbitrarily, maybe this means nothing, but to arbitrarily stop on a number like 62, like he wanted to pivot to other shit. So he just decided to do that. He didn't like get somebody else to write up to 100 or whatever.
I'm just reading through on some of them. This one's by Toy Farce from Everybody. He just wrote eyebrows. And
eyebrows?
Question mark. To the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Rise MB. Again, another hard-hitting question. Thanks for keeping on task.
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest book to get through?
Oh, God. I mean, maybe just because it's the freshest, but Monster Blood 4 was bad. Not the hardest to get through, though, necessarily.
I think I have my...
You have an answer?
Yes.
I mean, the early ones I came at with pretty fresh eyes because I was just... I mean, the early canon's fun.
Just pulled this gem from my bookshelf.
You're so right. I forgot about that.
Goosebumps Slappy World. They call me the Night Howler.
Yeah, and you know why, too, is because it's insulting that book is... How long is that book? 150 pages?
142.
Yeah.
The reason this sucked, too, is because we took a break from the original 62 at, like, not a bad time in Goosebumps because R.L. Stine on Twitter told us that this was, he thinks, the best book he's ever written.
Yeah, which is an insane thing to say.
Yeah, and especially when it's one that's just. I mean, I think it's either this one or it's Garbage Pail Kids. Garbage Pail Kids was hard to get through.
I hated that. That was the one I speed read the fastest.
Yeah.
Just skipping shit. It's just because it just read as very phoned in. It wasn't even fun. But this was, I remember how structureless this was. Is that from us throwing it?
Yeah, this book, I was just showing him, the whole top and the corners are super banged up because I remember multiple times during the 2 episodes. This is another thing. This book sucks so much that we made 2 episodes out of it just to get content from the pain that we went through.
Yeah.
But I think in the original 62, I remember having a lot of trouble getting through Bees.
Bees was no good.
Just because it kind of like went, like, wasn't it? It was like, oh no, I'm a bee. And then he like goes to the hive and leaves, but then he goes back to the hive and leaves. And then like,
yeah,
it was repetitive. And
How I Learned to Fly, I did not enjoy. And also that's the point, like that's early 50s. So it's like, we're very fatigued at this point.
yeah. But it's just like the ones that aren't going anywhere.
Oh, Barking Ghost. Fuck that book.
I don't even remember anything about Barking
It was
Ghost.
like fucking ghost dogs that like chase humans into a porta potty in the woods, and then you fall into the toilet and you come out as dogs.
Oh yeah.
Very
well, I guess
stupid.
It's marked out.
Other than that, like, I don't know. I had a lot of. I feel like it might not sound like it, I guess, if we listen back, but for the first like 40, I feel like we had a good amount of patience.
We sure did. And then actually it kind of makes sense because 41 is when you had the anal fissure. Literally looking at it.
Solely from Goosebumps.
Yeah.
My doctor said, do not read these anymore. You're plugging yourself up, my man. And it's ripping your asshole out.
Yeah, I think my answer is going to either be Bees or an early one that I remember being like, oh, this may not be fun was Let's Get Invisible.
Yeah.
Because it was the same thing over and over and over.
And I was trying to ascribe a different meaning to it, like the way that death would be, to just sort of disappear and not exist, but that only gets you so far.
Cool. Next question is our buddy Gene, recent guest.
Shout out Gene, the G-Spot.
How many times have you listened to Goosebumps by Travis Scott?
Oh, I've never heard it.
Twice for me, when I watched him perform it live, virtually, in the Fortnite concert with our friend Cody.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, I see it a lot when I window shop online and I like Google search Goosebumps shirt.
Yes.
I see a lot of like on TeePublic, like Travis Scott, and it says Goosebumps, and they'll like mash up the properties or something.
Yeah, well, I'll get that all out on our Instagram as well, because we have like a saved tag of Goosebumps, and it would just be like Travis Scott's, like, I don't know, McDonald's special burger, whatever the fuck he does.
Yeah, I've never heard it. I don't even really know. Travis Scott's a hip-hop guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What color socks you got on? That's another question from Gene.
Okay.
Mine are black, and it was one of those things where they're like no-shows, and they got different color stripes, and all of them were different colors. I got the sky blue on.
Are those Adidas?
No. I got them at Walmart.
Okay. I have the little Vans no-shows for like when you put slip-ons on. They're like little toe caps, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them, like, obviously when you have shoes on, but just as socks, they are nothing. They're very... Like, look how stupid it is. Look at the heel. Look how bloated it is. And it's like so ready to slip off. It's like me trying to put on a regular size condom. You know I need an XS.
Do they make small condoms?
I don't know.
I remember, this is like a weird memory. I feel like questions are fun, but we just finished one page of questions, so let's get into some weird shit. I remember in college, like, we would go in like to Target together, because I didn't have a car. You had a car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we would go to Target, and I remember like condom shopping together.
Did we?
Yeah. And I remember at one point, there was like the like Trojan, like, what do they call it? It was like a sampler.
Now, can I just cut you off for a second?
Yeah.
I used them just to jack off. Were you having sex?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too.
Wait, you just... For like cleanup?
No, I was having sex. Not jacking off into them just for the ease of it. Yeah.
But there was one that was called like Twisted. I don't know if you remember this.
No. Was it?
It was like a yellow, and it had like it looked like it had like pimp. It looked like it had Goosebumps.
Oh, sure.
Never tried one of those.
Like textured.
But I remember you bought them at one point, and we were gonna like report back, and you never did. So was there like a tragic experience with these? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's just a case of me being forgetful. I imagine it's nothing. Like, I imagine if anything, it's like dumber, and like,
oh, wait a second. It just had like
that is
like
insane.
twisted lines around
That
the
is
top.
Insane.
So
What does that look like? It looks like some sort of ice pop.
yeah, it looks like the rocket that fucking Bezos just flew in space with.
It does.
But it for the listener, it's called Twisted, and I guess it's twisted because it has like horizontal lines going up.
Yeah.
Kind of like a drill bit. So I guess it would like spin, and I think it would just like wring out your dick.
Yeah.
But I imagine like you know, R&D at Trojan. They were like, "What do you got?" And he's like, "Oh, get ready."
Ice pop condoms.
Yeah. But this one kind of reminds me of like a fucking like a candy cane. Like, I don't know. I think condoms can be fun and silly.
Sure.
I remember I went to I was trying to buy a gag gift. I went to the Spencer's, and let me tell you, like the amount of like lube flavors they had there,
Yeah.
blew my mind.
You ever tasted regular lube, Dave? Tastes bad.
I had a shot of lube every now and then
Yeah.
just to make sure my throat's nice and slick.
They used to come out with lube in like a Banaka sprayer.
Really?
Yeah. So you just like spray it on your little hog or
It was like a tiny WD-40.
yeah. You put on that long red attachment and put it up put it up somebody's cooch.
Their Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, this episode I felt was like bad in the beginning. Now I'm enjoying it again. When people are like, "So talk about you," and I'll be like, "Oh no, they're gonna figure out that we suck."
We get more emails that are like, "My family can't listen to this because."
Oh, can we read that?
Yeah, let's.
Shit, I don't know if I screen capped it. I think I did.
Because you talked about your separate ass cheeks for 45 minutes each,
Hold on, I think I screen capped
which
it.
is fair. We do that, and it's alienating.
It's really funny because you said doo-doo
Do.
just now.
That's the do rule. You got to shout it out.
Um,
No, it was a very nice message, actually, and I agree with it.
I agree with it too. People will be like, "Hey, you went a little hard on there. You went a little too far," and I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we could censor out like the gaps in our speaking. Like if there's a silence, we could
Sure.
do the levels. We could do anything. We could like cut them shorter. We could edit, maybe even bleep out content. But like, we're giving you what R.L. Stine gave you: raw, unadulterated, unedited. We live our lives with bad punctuation, just like
Sure.
every now and then we're just going through our lives as a sentence, and boom. Period.
There we are. Yeah. Period. And, yeah. Although most episodes are edited and have some level of production, but
Well, the production is good. I mean,
this one will not.
well, yeah, but trying to produce other things, audio. I'm just like, I don't know how Matt does it.
Oh no.
Incredible.
No. I just make sure it's like loud enough. I mean, whatever. Nobody cares.
So I don't know if I want to blow up this person's spot with their name, but they messaged us.
Yeah.
You know who you are. Love this message. This made us so happy.
Is it like somebody's actual name or it's like a username?
It's somebody's actual name.
Okay. Can we just say first name?
Cal.
Cal.
Because it's their last name, and then their last name is in the
Got it.
username.
Okay.
So I don't want to blow them up.
No.
And they wrote, "Hey, BBs. I just want to say thank you so much for making something that I love so much, but at the same time can share with no one."
Yeah, that is the burden.
It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried, but every time y'all go on like a 15-minute rant about ding-dongs and baby gravy, and let me tell you, that's apparently not what my girlfriend likes to listen to on long car rides. I've
weird.
listened to every episode, and I will truly miss y'all in my life. P.S. The 2 Night Howler episodes, where 2 of the best episodes of any podcast I'd ever listened to.
Wow.
PSS, kill me with this podcast. So we'll add him on.
Yeah, we got to kill
Cal, you're going to fucking die, Cal.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that nobody will find your body because none of your friends will listen to it.
Nobody else knows what this is.
Nobody will know what's happening.
Even
It's
if you
just
showed them, they immediately forgot.
But that's what I like about this podcast too, because like we've gotten 1-star reviews and they don't write a message and it's fine because it's not for everybody. But it's at the same time, I don't want to hang out with everybody. Like you don't want to like go to a bar and have a drink and just be like, hey, jizz, am I right? And then someone's like, inappropriate. Like immediately I'm like, don't want to talk to you ever. Am I related to you? Do I work with you? If both answers are no, then go away.
Yeah.
Because I just want to say jizz, and I want to talk about like how big the Big Show's dick probably is.
Yeah, and I don't want to like be made to feel bad about it. It is. I have been thinking recently, like, I don't know if this even relates, but I'm like, you reach a certain point in your like mid-30s, and you're like, do I have friends? And you kind of like you do a little tally in your head, and like, what do you define? Like, how do you define a friend? And I think ultimately that's just like self-defeating talk. But I think if you've stuck around with us for this long, we're pals.
No, we are 100%.
Because you've tolerated all this bullshit.
There's a lot of people on this list that wrote these questions that are buddies of ours.
Yeah.
Toy Farce I met because he ordered one of my R.L. Stine figures. Well, he couldn't order it. He's just like, yo, how can you get this to Finland? And I was like, we will find a way. And since then, we've been good buddies online.
Did you find a way?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shipped him an R.L. Stine. Toy Farce. He's great. He's basically the click hole for toy news. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like hard times and stuff like that, but his is all about toys. And if you're a toy collector, it's very fucking good, and he's hilarious. So shout out to him. Check him out. Follow him online if you're a collector. I think he found us through Adventures in Collecting, our dad, canonically through this podcast, Eric.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
his,
dad, shout out.
Big toy podcast, which if you're also, we'll get to that. We want to send you guys off with some reading and stuff like that, but let's do more questions.
Let's do it. Keep us on track.
We also have some audio that's been given, and I also have a gift for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I want to share. It's something that's been very difficult to do.
Okay.
And I did it to the best of my ability.
Okay.
So I want to share that with you. So we'll do some questions and we'll get to that.
Okay.
It's exciting. You feel excited?
I'm excited.
Sexually?
Yeah, I've got a lard on right now. What a bacon lard on.
All right, we gotta go back to my favorites. Here we go. This one is from our favorite jock goth.
Oh God, yes.
Brian.
Always knows about my pubes.
Two-time guest. Has anyone?
Two-time guest. Isaac.
Him and Lou and Isaac.
Yep.
Are the only two-timers.
Two-timers. You fucking two-timers.
So Brian's question is, Goosebumps sucks shit. Who was your go-to character in Street Fighter 2?
I don't remember. I played one on Genesis. What would that be? Would that be 1? Street Fighter 1? Or
I think it's probably 2. 2 has had like 1,000 versions of it.
I'm thinking of Mortal Kombat, so mine doesn't even count.
Dude, you're all over the place right now.
Fuck. Kang? Is that something?
Kang?
Yeah. Oh, that's an alien from The Simpsons. I don't know.
Also, it's well, I don't want to spoil the MCU for anybody, but
what about you?
Wanted to play as Blanca,
Uh-huh.
the Brazilian wild man, I believe he was. He was like,
I can picture him. He's got
the
the crazy
green
hair and yeah.
But in the end, when I tried to play 2 recently against our friend Mozart, who's way too good, Zangief all the way. Zangief's like the big Russian dude with chest hair that matches his mohawk, and he's like knee hair.
I like that.
The reason I love it so much is they did a Street Fighter crossover with Hello Kitty, and they made every character as like a Hello Kitty cute plush, and there's a Zangief. So it's like, imagine Hello Kitty with a mohawk and like chest hair, and like it's like she just is just covered in pubes, and it's just like Zangief rules. Another one from Brian. My stepmom is stuck in the washing machine. What Goosebumps should we read?
I think stay out of the basement if the basement is the genital area.
Yeah. How old is your mother? Does she groom? Because it could be bad hair day.
That's true.
And where is your pube? So, actually, he knows about pubes, so it's probably your hairy adventure.
Yeah, I like your my hairiest adventure. You guys should read that. Yeah, if she's stuck in there, just make sure you guys are reading that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question from a guest, good friend, Carl Germ.
Yeah, where's the witch founder?
Yeah, his question is, where's the witch?
Oh, okay. I think in this case, it's the man who sold us these books about jokes, those Jovial Bob Stein books, because he
Speaking of
manifested them.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, let's
you
get
want
some.
a cafeteria?
Okay, wait. These are 101 school cafeteria jokes.
Yeah, these are like little comic strips. These. So
Oh,
this
that's
one
fun.
is it's a little girl talking to a boy in the cafeteria.
Okay.
Little girl says, "Why is the math teacher mad at you?" That's what she sounds like, and the boy's like, "I don't know. It doesn't add up."
That's good.
No, it's not.
It's good.
It really isn't. What? Pam. This is The Office. So
yeah.
Pam says,
I'm Jim. I'm
to
horny
Jim.
for you.
All right. Pam says, "Why are you blowing so hard on your soup?" And to Jim says, "It's better than eating it."
Now, where's Dwight in all this?
He's,
He's saying, Michael.
yeah.
Yep.
He's probably like, "A borscht is a cold soup." Sarah, let me guess what you had for lunch. Spaghetti, meatballs, beets, and mashed potato. Sam, that's amazing. Did you read my mind? Sarah, no, I looked in your stool.
What the
No,
fuck?
it says no your chin. I looked at
Okay.
your chin. But when you eat beets, it looks like you are shitting your heart in blood. And
That's
you-
true. Yeah.
So that's fun. All
Or-
those jokes, the podcast just got bad again. There's like a scale. In the beginning, it was like, we're trying to be serious. We're just listening. We're answering. And it was like, if 5 is like listenable, we were at like a 4.
Just now?
No, before.
Oh.
Then like when we, remember when we were talking about like pussy lips and shit? We were
Yeah,
at like
yeah.
an 8. Mm-hmm. That's just pro. That joke was like a 3.
Yeah, it really brought down our average.
So, thanks a lot, Carl. AIC Pod, our dad, Eric,
Shout
said,
out,
okay, real question time. What Pokemon does Arl Stein have as a buddy?
Dave, you are the premier Pokemon expert. I will leave this question to you.
Right off the top of my head, I already know who it is. You'd
Okay.
expect it to be one of the ghost Pokemon or someone spooky. It's got to be Diglett.
Diglett.
You know why it's Diglett?
Because he looks like his mole.
Well, Diglett is a mole.
Oh, okay.
He's the mole Pokemon, so
That's perfect.
that's why it would be
Yep.
Diglett. I know another one from Brian.
Okay.
He said, what is one of the things you remember from book? It's actually, what is one of the thing you remember from book?
Now, that is great. See,
Yes.
I'm glad we went back and read Remembo.
Do you remember from book? Okay, how about this? I have all 62 plus some behind me here.
Uh-huh.
You just say stop.
Stop. Now, you're going to pick one.
The Headless Ghost. What do you remember from the Headless Ghost?
I remember them like going onto the second floor and like entering a room with like a fucking little girl or something. Is that right?
All I remember is like a kid's head got chopped off in like one of those dumbwaiters.
Oh, I'm thinking of Vampire Breath.
No, I think it's the same. No, I think that happens too.
Okay.
Because, oh wait, no, you are talking about Vampire Breath.
Okay. I'm thinking they are walking. I just remember the two of them like walking around a mansion.
So the answer to that question, not much.
Not much. Really, that's a tough question.
But looking at this shelf, it's like it doesn't even fit on the shelf. So there's a pile on the ground. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the book I remember the most if I just think about Goosebumps? It's probably like the ones I read most recently. So it's like I liked I live in your basement.
I remember Beware the Snowman.
Oh yeah,
A lot.
The magic snowman.
Yeah,
Dad.
just like he brings the cold. Like I remember
Yeah.
like the weird poetry and like the
Yeah.
setting. I don't know. I think the setting really stood out more than the other one, so that one
Yeah.
stuck with me recently.
Or like trying to steamroll Slappy
oh,
or
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Wood, right? Yeah. Like I remember them being on a construction site and like throwing dummies around there.
Yeah, and their like heads always pop and they turn into like slug fucking
Yeah,
ghosts
yeah.
and
They
shit.
like fart out and live in the walls now. It's like that's not. I don't know if that's better. Now you don't know where it is.
Questions. Another one from our dad Eric. Do any of you fuckers ever let a hairy nut out and scream horsecock?
I have an answer for that, Dave.
Do you?
Big fat load of cum, then.
Big fan. This is one that he's asked twice, and I don't get it. And I actually texted about it. Matt's friend Billy.
Do you really not get it?
Oh yeah, you had a friend named Billy.
Yeah, but I said on the podcast, I said if you ask me if it's the Blue Ranger, I'll fucking kill you or whatever. and so after that, a bunch of people asked me if it was the Blue Ranger, and guess what? I'm gonna kick all your asses.
Yeah, so he messaged, was it the Blue Ranger?
Yeah.
Okay, so he actually answered this. This was the previous one I did like a week ago when I
Yeah.
put it on Instagram. And then today he also messaged that again. That was Billy, the rockabilly kid who like was too cool for school.
Yeah,
Did we
yeah.
ever find him to be on this episode?
No, I have thought about like trying to. I did go on Instagram after that, and I think just Googled in general. Like I tried to like find a path to find who that was, and I don't know.
It's work.
It's work. I don't care.
Time spent on Facebook is not good time.
Yeah, I don't even have Facebook. Not to brag.
Yeah, I want to get rid of mine really bad. Long-time listener. Another guy we did consider a friend. So, Nab Siegel. Messaged us a lot. Good dude. If you had to get a Goosebumps tattoo, where would it be? Or what would it be and where?
Dave, you want to answer that?
Well, I got one. I got one on a live episode with Lou. I have a nice little slappy on my calf with all my horror shit.
No, you have a curly.
Curly, yeah.
Yeah.
See how big of a Goosebumps fan I am? What about you? What would you get?
I would get, somebody online is selling like this. Some people on Etsy, they just sell like their flash sheets. My phone is confused.
I just thought of one, and it's fucked up.
Oh,
but,
tell me.
I don't want to say when or whatever. If we outlive R.L. Stine, I'll put it that way. Can we get a little R.L. Stine with his birth year to the year he died?
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll get it all down my forearm.
I'll do it. That's like a...
Look at these. I'm
Okay.
showing Dave off mic somebody's like flash sheet that they're selling. There's like cool shit like I would get like the Say Cheese and Die. It's just like the Polaroid with some flowers around it. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
It's nice.
Or like the book, but like pick a book that you like. You know?
Well, the thing about the book that's a little weird is it's covered in slime,
yeah.
which is spooky, but it's also, is it a manga? Is it a Japanese book? Because it's backwards.
Yeah.
It's back. They did it backwards, but it's R.L. Stein. You see, it, and it says A Night in Terror Tower. It's nice. You got a Slappy with a flower.
Yeah.
You got a Velociraptor. It's definitely a creep on
That's
the
a
phone,
creep.
calling all creeps. And it
I would
says,
just get that one.
and Reader Beware, you're in for a scare on there. And this is Wood_tattoo.
Yep.
I would get another Goosebumps tattoo for sure.
Yeah.
This has been, how many fucking years have we been doing this? Is this like
2018, right?
So we started at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
So we're like a month away from it being
3 trace years.
Trey years, which is pretty crazy, but
Yeah.
feels longer.
Yeah, it's interminable.
Yeah.
But it's over now.
So do you want my gift?
Yes. Oh, is that all the questions?
There's more.
Oh, okay.
After this.
But we'll take a little break.
There's 4 more from the last session, and then today we were given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, but one of those is also was it the Blue Ranger a second time?
Okay.
Ooh, you're gonna get you. Ooh, Eric. So one of our goals when we started this podcast was we wanted to have R.L. Stine on as a guest.
Yeah.
And anyone who wants to start their own Goosebumps podcast, we're not the only guys who have done this. There's a bunch
Of Goosebumps.
of
podcast.
Goosebumps podcasts.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't really listened to them, but there's a whole bunch. There's one actually that messages us a lot on and features us a lot on Twitter. That's
Really?
super nice, super kind. Yeah. They're just starting up, so they don't know what, they still got the spirit in their eyes and stuff. They're excited and happy, but
still
there's
have
like the
soul in their
Goosebuds and like all these different, somebody reads Goosebumps. There's one where it's just a guy literally reading them, but
Say Pod and Die.
Say Pod and Die. Well, there's actually women in, is it Broyanice, women enthusiast, Fear Street spoilers?
Bro, yeah, nice.
Broyanice, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
one's good.
Nicole. Shout out Nicole.
Yeah, really awesome. And then we've been messaged, but unfortunately I use Twitter for hockey news, so most of our stuff in here is all just stuff about the hockey draft right now, so
Yeah.
I can't even figure out who that. I think it was Say Pod and Die though are the ones who
Yeah.
do a lot of our stuff. But
Yeah, and I mean they do a really good job. They actually have like useful analysis, and they're like smart and good.
Yeah,
and,
well, sounds
so
like a lot of work.
If you want a pendulum swing,
Sounds like a lot of work.
you come to us.
So we wanted to get R.L. Stine onto the pod.
Yeah.
And I mean, first 5 minutes I think we call his son deaf in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and we call him a fucking idiot
Mm-hmm.
because, and it was to be nice to R.L. Stine because his son famously has never read a Goosebumps book, which we think is rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like your dad having the best pizza in town, and every time he makes a pizza, you're like, Like,
Yeah.
And it's not even like you have to read every single one. Like, dude, just read fucking one. You're an
Yeah.
adult now. Read it to your son.
Right.
Fucking blind idiot. I hate that guy. So because of that, and a couple other things, I've sent many things to his agent. Mm-hmm. We almost were able to get him until we figured out how much it cost to be at a convention. That's another story. And I also sent, and there's like an how much you're willing to pay. I made it like $5,000 recently and was like, this is how much we'll pay. We just want a sound clip or anything, like a cameo of R.L. Stine to talk or anything. They refuse to fucking talk to us.
You offered $5,000 of your own money?
Well, I mean, I just want to see if they get back to us. I wasn't actually going to offer
Oh, okay.
$5,000. I mean, like, if they got back to us, I'd be like, neat. Like, I'd hope they'd be like, oh no, that only costs like $100. But as you know, on Cameo, people now, you can pay and get like a celebrity to message and talk about stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just want you to listen to this audio, which is very much like a cameo from somebody we may know. Ready?
Uh-huh.
I'm R.L. Stine.
Hold on.
Hello and boo. I'm R.L. Stine. R.L. Stine, the Goosebumps author. Mac Day. Fuck you, you bitch. With all the time you've spent at home chumming this year, you could have gotten a degree in chum. What a waste. And drop the grudge, you remorseless villains. Fuck you. I'm R.L. Stine.
So I paid $1 million and got that 100% authentic message from the Goosebumps writer, as he said with his words, R.L. Stine.
Now, was he saying that we were spending a lot of time at home chumming?
No, hold on. I can play it back for you. He said that. Let's see.
R.L. Stine. Day. Fuck.
What?
Bitch, with all the time you've spent at home chumming this year, you could have gotten a degree in chum. What a waste.
He said, with all the time we could have just spent the time to get a degree in cum.
Oh, okay. Sounds like chum.
How it was edited together by R.L. Stine, I think he worked real hard to make it become.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, it cost me a pretty penny, but R.L. Stine himself sent that to us.
Wow. That's really moving.
He did it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was him.
It seems. I mean, wow. I'm honored to have that as a lifelong fan, and
We wanted him on the podcast, and he was like,
now he really.
"Oh, really?"
He kind of dug into us a little bit there.
Yeah.
He kept saying "fuck you."
He did call us a bitch, which is problematic. But
Yeah,
it's bad but he's the one who did it. So like, if you guys are mad,
yeah.
I mean, you know who to be mad at. Like here we go. Like, let's see.
Mac. Fuck you, you bitch. All the time you
See, it's him.
Yeah, he seems really mad.
Well, he doesn't like our podcast. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, we did call his son blind.
Yeah. Also, like, we talk about how hard he worked in the original 62, and
Yeah.
how, like, you know, it's a great endeavor to write 62 books in like almost like 62 months. Like,
Yeah.
it was really early on we started writing a book a month, and we're like, that's great. But then it was to the point where he was like, this is the best book I wrote, give me money. And we were like, yeah, this fucking sucks. So
Yeah.
like, you know, that's probably why he called us villains. And
Man, I'm psyched though. I'm glad he got back to us.
it's crazy. Yeah.
Sorry
it took him
about
a
the
while.
$1 million.
It's fine.
You're doing all right.
I won it. Well, no, I sold my the copy he signed for me for $1 million.
okay. I got it. So it was really just like he almost paid himself.
He pretty much. Well, yeah. It was more he wanted to be heard than paid.
Yeah.
He just really wanted to razz us. It was just a gentle razzing between friends.
That's great. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could get his degree in com. Yeah.
That's like a bio degree.
Yeah.
Like if you're
I feel like a monkey's paw just curled and I'm going to be like drenched in RL semen or something.
It's like a fertility doctor.
Yeah.
It's just like I imagine all they do is just like swirl little test tubes of jizz. It's just like, you know, when you're a kid and you're like, I'm going to put icing from the cake into this Pepsi. Like, and you swirl it and you're like, that's some good jizz. And that's what R.L. Stine said to us. Straight from him, his words.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm happy not enough people listen to this for us to get sued.
Don't even put it out there into the world. Wow, that's amazing.
You become a jizz doctor. I get sued.
Yeah. I get my JD. You know what that stands for? Jizz doctor.
Oh, that's what Scrubs is about.
Yeah.
By the way, that show doesn't hold up.
No? Bummer.
Tried watching the first season.
Yeah.
Oof.
I liked it in 2004 or whatever.
JD may be a worse character than the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
I've never seen that show.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, this is the final episode, so we're finally going to let everybody know how we met our mothers. Mine? Vaginal birth. Yours?
Yeah, same.
Oh, I'm sick. Well, you guys heard it here.
All right. Questions.
Questions!
Fuck you, you bitch.
Did you hear when he said our names poorly?
Yeah. That. And Dave.
All right. So, from Lewis Knives says, do you think the Goosebumps series should still be going?
Yeah. I mean, look, people still consume it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So why not? It's fine. I don't have to partake.
That's true. I would like R.L. Stine to step off of it, though. I think it'd be fun if they had other people working in it.
Sure.
Like a reboot kind of thing, but because like it's all the same stuff, and it's to the point where like you're writing the same book over and over and over and over. Like there's a point where there's a reason why like most TV shows don't go on forever, and even if they do, they have different writers and fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Goosebumps is a great property, and that's why it's getting a new TV show, so they can do fresh eyes and new storytelling.
Yeah.
R.L. Stine is like, we talked about books he wrote in the early 90s and how he's just like so disconnected with the youth and culture. Like that was 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
And he's still writing, like, Imagine a book now where kids only know about Travis Scott, and he's just like, and they were listening to Brian Wilson, who had his fame in the Beach Boys, and it's like,
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he does do the same thing over and over, but I don't know. If it's a new generation of kids, then that's fine, right? Because they don't know the tropes.
Yeah.
And they could just skip that shit. That like it probably doesn't even register if he says like they were listening to the Rolling Stones' "Jumping Jack Flash." They'd be like, it wouldn't even process. They'd just skip that line.
Yeah. There'd probably some shit he made up. Also, I did hear recently, I forget who told us this, but the new Monster Blood book that just came out, I was told it is the worst one yet.
Really?
Worse than 4.
For breakfast?
For
Is that the new
Breakfast
one?
was a later one.
Okay.
This is the Return of Monster Blood or Monster Blood Returns. The one that came out maybe like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it's the one that I was like, might be fun to get to at some point. I hear it's painful. So,
Oh, boy.
all right. TJ Blalik,
Oh, we killed him, didn't we?
we did. He said, is that your pube?
I don't know. Should we find out?
Let's find out.
Okay, just give me one
all right,
sec.
hold on. Let's see.
I really want to know if this is my pube.
Well, we need
Let me
to...
just consult my pube man.
Let's do our due
One
diligence.
sec here. Let's see what's going on. Will he answer?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I'm sorry to bother you. I know you're busy.
I'm a little busy.
We're recording the podcast live right now, and I just have a quick question for you. It just came up incidentally. I've never asked this of you before, but I just want to know if this is my pube.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. How do you know?
Yeah, it looks awful.
That's how you know, right?
I'm sorry?
It's-
Woke up.
That's how you know that it's mine is because it looks awful.
Well, who else's would it be?
That's a fair point.
Thank you.
Okay, I love you.
Yeah, you're... I'm sorry?
Hon, I got your ointment.
Oh, I gotta get my ointment.
Okay, get your prescriptions. I'll see you later.
Okay, I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I think you have your answer there. That it's mine. It's usually mine.
Usually. Usually. Tyler Lahousey. Definitely fucked that up. But
Apologies for your names.
Tyler Lahouse. What's a book that you thought would have been a banger, but actually was a emoji thumb down?
It's a good question.
There's got to be a bunch that we saw and we were like, "Oh, this one's gonna fucking rip," and then
Yeah.
just sucked shit.
Well, it's because
Let's go through the list.
you can't go based on the artwork, but the artwork is so alluring. I think off the top of my dome, Don't Go to Sleep. Right?
Don't Go to Sleep sucked. Yeah, Don't Go to Sleep.
Because cool title, cool art.
Sick Monster Hand.
Monster hand coming up from under the bed. None of that's in the book.
Yeah.
Not representative of the book.
I'd say so. I think that's the one. Maybe, just maybe, Night in Terror Tower.
Sure.
Is that even the title name?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because that seemed like a real fucking, like, that's one that you'd see everywhere on T-shirts, like all over the place.
Yep.
So you expect it to be extremely good, but
And I feel like that one, he could have built the world so much more like a medieval book. And it was just like, we teleported to the top of the tower. The princess is you. Bye.
pretty much, yeah. I feel like I liked Jack-o'-lanterns better as a TV episode than I liked it as an actual book.
I still haven't seen the episode.
And it's one of the better covers too. So
Yeah, I like the cover. I like the little dog on there and the little bulldog.
yeah.
He's a cutie pie.
And there's other things too. Like R.L. Stine himself says that Barking Ghost is one of his favorite covers, but he believes it's the worst book he's ever written inside. So,
Yeah.
but like
It is bad.
we didn't expect it to be good.
No, for sure not.
Lou, good buddy Lou.
Hey, shout out, Lou.
Shout out Lou. He just said hardest book to get through. We got through that, but
Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch. But
any book we read waiting for you was a treat. to get through with you.
With Lou? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure. A joy. Lou's a joy. What's not to like?
We did Monster Blood 3 with Lou.
Yep.
You want to go back and listen to that? That was pre-pandemic. That was like right before everything shut down.
Yep.
Little did we know. And then he came back. We did a Blob That Ate Everyone.
Yep, that's right. Pungus Among Us.
Pungus Among Us. So then brings us to today. Our today question. So we have The Dad Who Collects,
Okay.
which is probably a nerdy thing, but it also sounds like if it was like a Wild West kind of thing, you'd see it like the dad who like, you know, he has like scalps hanging from his horse and stuff. He's like, I'm the father who always collects. Like, so he says, what do you expect to see the value of old Goosebumps books to be in 2 years?
The value of old ones?
Value. That's a tough one.
It really depends on the book, whether or not it's been reprinted, and whether or not people want it.
Yeah. I think with the new TV show, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the valuable ones are the later in the canon. So will that change? I mean, sure, over time. I think it's been consistent, though, in that those are the ones that are least reprinted. Right? Would you agree?
No, it's true. So the ones that are the most expensive are the ones that have not been reprinted from the original.
Yeah.
And even to the point where Legend of the Lost Legend was not reprinted until that recent special tin box set.
Right.
And the price of that one sank once it got reprinted. So I think with the new TV show, if they really start reprinting these, then we'll see. I think prices will go down, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Just because, like, look at, like, Harry Potter fans. Harry Potter's huge. I know now it's a little less huge because it's, I mean, that woman. But
The turf J.K. Rowling.
well, I call her that woman. It seems mean, but she takes great pride in being a woman and making sure nobody else can, assign anything else to themselves. Fuck her. But anyway, like, unless you have, like, the British first edition, first published, and even that, like, book collectors. I know Pokemon's blown up. I know comic books have always been big, but children's books, I don't see people finding a first edition Haunted Mask. Especially they're so few and far between, and they were printed in mass. It's just, I don't think people are going to be grading or doing anything. Signed R.L. Stine. The signed R.L. Stine trading cards are worth more than the books at this point. It's just...
I've never seen a book go for more than $60 or whatever.
80 now.
Oh, yeah?
For
MB4?
Yeah. Some of them are selling for that. But it's usually people are putting them in collections, and it's just because you can't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is that all of these have been reprinted as ebooks, which is, well, not print, I guess.
Yeah, they're published.
Republished. The important thing about that is they have updated them and taken out the stuff that they usually get rid of, where like they call somebody mental, or they talk about things that don't fly in children's books now, or they'll also update, like, I took a picture of somebody. I can't wait to go to the photo mat and get it developed.
Yeah.
Stuff where like an 8-year-old will be like, the fuck is this shit? I'm just going to play Fortnite. Like, so yeah, they are available and updated to a 2005 standard. So they could come back out, and I think they will. And the prices will probably drop.
Hey.
I won't have to pay $20 for an obviously fake Monster Blood.
Yeah.
All right. This is another one from our buddy Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Fresh Lou from today. As adults, after clearing heads from nostalgia, can you both give an honest critique of the series?
It's hard to separate the preconceptions you have and the feelings you have for the series based on your exposure as a kid. But I will say, now coming back to it, it's sort of, I mean, definitely the back half of what we've read, the magic was gone, I can tell you.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, they're hit or miss. It's a big series with a lot of entries. Some are worth it and some are not. I will say the target audience is 7 to 13 or whatever. Not even that high, like 7 to 11 or something. And in that regard, I think they're all fucking home runs. You know, it's like I think if it gets you reading, even if you're more enthusiastic about some versus others, I think it's a perfectly fine canon of books that achieves its stated goal.
Yeah. I agree with that wholly. The only thing is, if this came to me, if they were like, hey, this guy wrote these books, we're going to put them out, I would be like, they need to be edited.
Yeah.
Right now, the shocking thing for me, and it's still shocking, is about how grammatically shitty these books are.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, you can read through them, and for the most part, sentences make sense. But sentence structure, fragments, everything like that. Like, if this was prose or some flowery bullshit for adults, I get it. But these are children's books made to, like, it's kind of the thing where it's like, yeah, they're horror and they're not really getting anything out of them or whatever. It's like, that's fine and they're fun and it's good to have kids read. But when you want kids to read, and especially we come from writing backgrounds, you want to teach them. You want something they can learn from.
Yeah.
And obviously from some, structure of a story is not that important. But at least, come on, man. At least follow some of the grammatic rules so you can teach kids. Like, that's the only thing I'd say. But I think there are some home runs, and it shows that a lot of adults and people are excited for this to be a TV show because it's a horror franchise that stands above a lot of the rest. There's a reason why this franchise gets an insane amount of licensing, like Creepy Co. Like, there's so many places.
Yeah.
The Halloween masks. Look, we got Jack Black in 2 movies. You got a whole lot of stuff. It's fun stories and characters. The art, I think, is the biggest part of it too. Yeah. Even if you're not nostalgic for the art, you see the covers and you're like, all right, that's fucking sick. Yeah. But I just say, like, grammatically and the level of the writing, I don't care if you keep the plots and everything exactly the same. Just fix the writing, dude. You got to teach kids the right way.
Yeah, fix the cadence. Because I think the half that he does well is that there's a lot of 10-cent words in there. There's a lot of vocab words that can improve your vocabulary. But I think in terms of the I don't know, the diction itself and like how one sentence plays into another, a lot of choppiness, a lot of rules that are broken there. And like Dave, I think that's a good point where it's like in a book you could kind of do whatever the fuck you want. You could have like a 5-page sentence with only commas.
And then like somebody will like, you'll win an award for it or some shit.
Exactly. It's like, well, this is fucking, George Saunders. So I don't really, that's fine.
This is an art where it's like you're using the symbols that we see as language to get across an emotion. This is something where the kid is going to go to school and they're going to say, do not start a sentence with and. This is a fragment. Mm-hmm. These are the parts of a sentence. And they're going to be like, well, fucking R.L. Stine doesn't do that shit. And look, he wrote 1,000 fucking books.
Yeah, and I think some of that is dumb and not totally applicable. Like, you can start a sentence with and.
You can.
But he does it so frequently and just pushes it like beyond the brink. And if you're a kid, I don't know, lead by example. Yeah, true. I just think that's just based on the demographic of the book. Yep. But I say thumbs up regardless of the nostalgia. No doubt. Yeah.
Because there's even some like, if you look behind me on my shelf, I have like Skeletors. Did I ever watch that as a kid? No. Yeah. I had a He-Man sword as a kid. Never watched it. Yeah. Aesthetically, fucking dope.
It's cool as hell.
It's fun. Do I care about the property? No. Goosebumps, same. I feel like if I never had the Goosebumps, I'd be interested in hopping on. Yeah. I mean, we've had some guests who were just like, I didn't read any of this. My brother did, but I'm on because that's a 90s cool thing. So, all right. This is from Andrew. This is the ex-Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
We see their stuff a lot. Who would be the best director to make a full-length film based on a Goosebumps book? I have 2 answers.
For it.
One that's super interesting. I don't think we ever talked about this. George Romero, the father of zombies. Any of the Dead movie. Yeah. Night of the Living Dead was his first one. Did everything else. Apparently at one point was contracted and wrote the first Goosebumps movie.
Wow.
And it was a zombie version of Welcome to Dead House. And some college has like all of his works and they're doing like a study on it. And they recently dug up the story for a George A. Romero Night of the Living Dead version, basically, of Welcome to Dead House.
Okay.
Would have been cool, but the one that I really wish happened is when Tim Burton was originally going to make
that's
a
a good
late
answer.
90s Goosebumps movie.
Yeah.
That never happened, but I still think that would have hit home.
Yeah, give me like really awful rated R David Fincher Goosebumps, and then also give me like a twee horrid aesthetic filled Wes Anderson Goosebumps with like Tilda Swinton and Bill Murray and shit.
What about an adult Goosebumps? Who would you want? I want a David Lynch Goosebumps.
Yeah, that's Fincher, I think.
That's Fincher? That
Yeah.
would be your Fincher one?
Give me a mystery Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Gritty, grim Goosebumps.
It's just like, hello, I'm R.L. Stine. Evan, it's Monster Blood.
Yeah, not in
my-
Fincher's world. Those people are going to get shot in the head in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question, though. Andrew is Adam's buddy and our buddy.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, he has 3 questions, so it's good.
Hell yeah.
Because he also wrote, if you had to trade lives with one of the protagonists in the book, which would you choose?
Jeez, who lives a cool ass life? They all get like cursed in a weird way. They're always like, turns out I'm the chicken.
Who was the one who got the story to write? He had the power to write, and the anything he wrote came true. Oh, that was the blob who ate everyone.
Yep.
He saved the day, and in the end, still had the shit. So you could like write whatever you wanted. You can make anything come true. All right. Because I want to get to this one.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Uh-huh.
Slappy,
Uh-huh.
Monster Blood, and the Haunted Mask.
Okay. Do you have an answer? I got to think about it.
I would kill Slappy.
Okay.
Because Slappy sucks. He's evil. He's always puking up slime and shit. He's always breaking your art. And he's always like I wouldn't like to be like, hey, honey, how was work? And he'd be like, slave. Like, I'd be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So I kill him. I'm going to get that slug out of his head and fucking kill him.
Sure.
You'd be like, where's my sandwich? And he's like, reach in my head. That's something I
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
That's something I remember.
Yeah,
that
you don't want
sandwich
to
in the
fuck that head.
Fuck Monster Blood.
Just texture thing?
Texture thing also, what happens when you get a little Monster Blood in you? So my dick would be huge. It would grow. I'd have a huge dick, which my significant other, the Haunted Mask, and I could just be there. Because I imagine like the Haunted Mask, like kind of just like it's very vain and just kind of wants to like live its life and do whatever it wants, and like because like you can't really like marry the Monster Blood. It would just like gelatinously like flop around. But like at least like the Haunted Mask has goals. You know what I mean?
It does. But like, yeah.
You know how like the end of 2, the Haunted Mask literally just like comes to life and runs away.
Yeah.
To like
yeah.
find Carly Beth.
Yeah.
Like I'd imagine imagine you're like dating the Haunted Mask and they're like, fucking idiot, Carly Beth ruined my last, and I'm like, yeah, let's fuck with her. It's Halloween. Let's get her. And it's just kind of like, I'm here for you, Carly Beth, and I'm like, yeah, like you know, you got to support the person you're with.
Yeah.
So I that would be my choice. What about you?
I think I would also kill Slappy. That's a good call. Nobody wants that shit. I think I'm about to fuck that mask. I'm gonna maybe I'll ask its permission first of all, and I'll get consent, and then I will maybe I will get a fleshlight and
Okay.
and I think that's the safest way.
Or you can get like a chindo, like one of those chin dildos,
Yes.
put it on the mask's chin.
Mm-hmm. So
Or
that's-
just cram that whole fucking mask up your ass.
I think that's the answer.
I think that You know what? I think the answer to all of them is cram all of them up your ass. Eric, our dad says, was it the Blue Ranger?
Dad, I'm going to kick your ass so hard.
And then Ashley, previous haunted guest of ours.
Shout out Ashley.
She said Fear Street next. No.
No, the books? No,
Yeah,
absolutely
no.
not.
Those got more than like 200 pages.
Yeah, no, there's no way on earth.
And that's the thing with where Lou said, like, would we still read these, or like if we didn't have the nostalgia? And it's kind of the thing where it's like, well, we wouldn't just like choose something to do a lot of work for 3 years about if we didn't give a shit about it. And
yeah.
We like R.L. Stine enough to buy, what is this, $8 worth of joke books?
Sure.
But not enough to read a bunch of other shit that like we never were into.
And I would read one of those books for pleasure, but I wouldn't talk about it or write anything down about it.
And also, like, there's a good number of books.
Yeah.
And a lot of pages and a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's something that would be like it becomes a job.
For sure.
And like I said, we're not getting paid for any of this. And it's something we're doing as like, this was like a friendship challenge for us. Like, this was something that we wanted to do together.
Yeah.
And we did it.
100%.
We did it. I mean, like, who knows? If we do anything else under the Calling All Creeps name, it's just for funsies, man. We're just going to have some fun.
You bet.
We wanted to do a podcast. Did we ever talk about the wrestling podcast?
No, I don't think we told anybody.
It got canceled, so we can't even do it.
Yeah, it's canceled.
Yeah, we wanted to have a wrestling podcast to prank people in the wrestling community about the Big Show and about his TV show, and just talk about how big his dick probably is.
Mm-hmm.
And they canceled it before we got to talk about how big his dick was.
They canceled the Big Show show.
Yeah, the Big Show.
Yeah, that's what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, it was going to be the Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be us having wrestling guests on.
Yeah.
And we were going to ask them, how big do you think, like, if the Big Show, do you think his, like, sperms are bigger?
Yeah. I mean, the hole has got to be bigger, so got to be bigger loads, maybe.
Well, like, his butthole can't be the same size as my butthole, right?
No, it's bigger.
So does it have to, because poop is the same size.
Well, no, it's going to come out
Well,
bigger.
he has bigger poop, but if you have a loose poop.
Right.
So the thing is,
But
like,
he'll have more.
yeah, but his butthole needs to work harder than a normal butthole.
Yeah. More fissures.
No, because it would leak out. Right?
If what?
So like a butthole, like a normal butthole is like, it's like a tightened fist.
Uh-huh.
So if there's a smaller hole at the bottom of the fist and you go really tight,
Yeah.
less like water would pour out.
Sure.
But if you have a bigger hand, you have to squeeze tighter to make a bigger seal so the water doesn't come out.
Okay.
Or else some would leak.
Yeah, but he's a bigger guy, so he has bigger muscles. He just like has a bigger engine, so it is. I think it's comparable. You know what a butthole also looks like?
See, this is what you guys could have gotten. It's the what if. This is the Patreon. This is $5 a month to get the Big Show.
It's like if I
Or
just
ti-
if I was just like sucking on a lemon, right? And I'm like, and my face was like, oh, I'm so my feet's so sour in my mouth. And then I pucker like a little butthole.
And this is a preview of the Never Made podcast that I was going to call Tiddlebiss. Because that's the acronym for the Big Show.
It's good. It's good.
On the next episode of Tiddlebiss. Canceled. All right, so we have... Don't we have audio
Oh yeah,
from
Okay.
our dad and Isaac?
that's right. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of audio, and it was nice of people to send us stuff
Because we didn't ask.
because we didn't ask. Yeah, that's
We
true.
asked. Like, I didn't even ask for R.L. Stein to send that, and he just sent that.
That's amazing. So I can't top that. But let's see. This is the first time we're both hearing this. Let's see what Isaac has to say. I'm just gonna turn the volume up, and off we go.
Boo my dudes. Isaac here, obviously from your heralded Haunted Mask episodes. I just wanted to check in one last time. You did it, boys. You read 62 of these goddamn books. And I have to say, I'm relieved to ultimately know that every single amount of pride that I have for you will always accompany deep disappointment and astonishment at all that you've accomplished. Please take a well-deserved break. You've really earned it, and I mean it. Just don't ever do this to yourselves again, because it seemed exhausting, honestly. But before we wrap it up, I just wanted to give you a couple of final superlatives. Biggest spook and scare for the show, probably limping through your 10th episode and realizing that you had 52 to go. Best dressed is Dave, obviously.
Nice.
Alt title, we're a couple of creeps with Matt and Dave. And sorry, Brian, turns out that it was actually my pube all along. And I am willing to send in a sample if you need a cross-reference. Matt might have some already. So I thank you guys. I love you guys. It's been wonderful to be on this journey with you. And please, really, just never do this again.
Isaac, thank you so much.
That was very sweet.
I was literally at the end thinking like top spook and scare, top whatever, and I was like, how are we gonna do that? And
He just did it for us.
he just did. That's a true guest.
To do the work. And shout out Isaac. I know we're going to talk about podcasts later, but while I'm thinking about it, he has a great podcast that is so smart and so the opposite of this podcast called Pick Your Take, where they talk about movies. Isaac, if you hear this, I'd love for you to weigh in about who you think should direct a Goosebumps movie if you had your way, because you for sure have a good answer and I do not. Anyway, we have another message.
My now fiance just sent me a dad joke from one of her family members and thought it would be important for our podcast. So could I just share a really inappropriate joke?
Please.
Also, I want to say, by the way, you have the orange pop filter, and right now with the blanket, your shorts and everything laying like that, it's very matchy. It looks very good.
Oh boy, very
It's very
excited.
good. So this is sex can make your day, but anal can make your whole week.
Oh no. Hey, that's really right on topic with our Big Show discussion.
For Tittlebiss. Yeah.
For Tittlebiss.
Tittlebiss. All right, so this is from our dad, Eric of the Adventures in Collecting
Hell yeah.
podcast. Here we go. Ready, set.
To my sons, my two boys. This is Eric, your father, co-host of the Adventures in Collecting podcast, and I just wanted to congratulate you guys on completing your goal. You aimed to cover every Goosebumps book, and you did that plus more. So I'm proud of you. And I think you guys should be proud of yourselves too. You accomplished a feat that nobody asked you to accomplish, but you did it anyway. And you guys did a great job, and you made a lot of people laugh, myself included. And frankly, now I have to find a new podcast to fill the void that you guys will inevitably leave open on my queue, which makes me a little sad. I hope that you guys come back for special episodes every now and then. It would be awesome to see you guys talk about maybe the Fear Street movies that are coming out on Netflix. But either way it goes, I'm really proud of my two sons. I'm really proud of the potty mouth that I bestowed upon you in your birth. And for the last time, please remind your mothers that their checks are in the mail.
Man, it's a lady killer right
Hey,
there.
the lady killer. At first I thought we had the same mom, but this is huge news that we need to unpack.
That we're half brothers.
It's messed up. Thanksgiving's going to be so weird this year.
Yeah. That's a bombshell.
That's a bomb.
Well, we appreciate both of you boys, and so good to have had everybody on the podcast, and of course everybody listening. And Dave, do we want to kill some people, or do we have more questions?
I think we're all out on questions.
Good.
Let's kill some people real quick.
All right.
We already had Cal.
Yes. Shout out Cal. Very nice.
It was
shout.
Cal, yes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Then we have Logan De La Cruz.
Yes. Shout out Logan.
Shout out Logan. He said, first off, thank you both for reading all 62 books so I don't have to.
Great.
That was our original tagline. We were supposed to say that at the beginning of every episode. We may have said it during 2.
Yeah.
Never have I binged a podcast like this before. I made it a point to start from the beginning, and it was worth every minute. Thank you for creating a safe space for anal fissures, OCD, and my social anxiety. Mm-hmm. For anyone else reading this, I came as a fan of Goosebumps. I leave as a fan of Matt and Dave.
Wow, that's so nice.
So nice. H for W, No Nut 2020. Is this my pube? Boo dudes. You can't scare me.
Love it.
That was really sweet.
Very nice.
That really brought, yeah. Thank you so much, Logan. Kiney Lamoni SJS.
Hey, all right.
Said, it says, always good for a laugh. I started listening to this show last September, having just moved to a new city in the middle of a quarantine where I knew no one. I really needed a good laugh and a chance to escape, and these two rad dudes, Matt and Dave, have created just that. A podcast that focuses more on creativity and comedy, but with a little goosebumps and a lot of man goo thrown in. Every other Monday, I wake up a little happier knowing that I'll have a new episode to listen to, and I'll be sad when it's over. I highly recommend starting with Monster Blood 2. The cold open with the slime had me in tears at work listening to it. Much love to Chainsaw and Dirt Bike.
Hey.
They're hanging out with us right now. It's very nice. If I ever have a cat, I'm stealing one of those names. You're more than welcome. Sincerely, Jovial Bob Stein's Mustard Dog.
Oh, that's very nice.
So we should kill him.
Yeah,
We
sure.
got Cal Logan.
Cal, Logan, and Kaney.
Kiiney.
Okay. So I think the best way to kill you little cutie pies is probably to bring y'all together doing the thing that brought you here in the first place, which is Goosebumps. So let's say you're at a little R.L. Stine reading, right? Much like we went to, Dave. I don't know if you remember.
The kitchen was really, Chainsaw, what's up?
Chainsaw's here. And here's the thing that is tragic about the reading. RL is up there, and he's angry about a kid and stuff. But not only it's not Chainsaw that shows up, an adorable little cat who I love and who I'm petting right now, but there's a real sentient chainsaw in that fucking room, and it is acting on its own accord, but it belongs to R.L. Stine, and he does have the power of suggestion where if you get on his bad side, he can sick that little fucker after you and cut you right in half, right down the middle, too. And so you guys are hanging out. It's Logan. It's Cal. It's Kiney. And you guys are enjoying because R.L.'s up there and he's like, the book I wanted to publish, but I couldn't, was Ghost Pube. Isn't that funny? And then there was another one called I took a shit in your basement and I left it there and now it smells. And you guys are like, ha! Yeah! More RL. And here's the thing, he doesn't like loud noises. We learned this when we went to our reading.
Oh yeah, when he said "fuck" at that small baby.
He said "fuck this kid," and so he gets real mad and he sends his chainsaw after you. You guys, though, you're agile, you're young, you know what's going on. You totally duck it and subvert it, except for you, Cal, because you are cut right in half, and you just got to get out of the way faster, my man. But here's the thing: now there's two of you, more to love. That's what I say.
It's true.
Right?
True. Well, Kiney would love it, but Kiney is waiting up at the microphone to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a little nervous about the chainsaw that R.L. Stine has sent to kill everybody, but and he's just like, "Hello, I'm R.L. Stine." He burps. Right in Jane, blows it in Jane's face.
Oh, Jane.
And he's like, "What's your name?" And you're like, "Kiney." And he's like, "Hiney." He's like, "Kiney." "Hiney." He says, "Kiney." He's like, "Hiney." He said, "No, my name is Kiney." And he goes, "No, Heine. Turns out he was just directing the chainsaw to cut you, and a chainsaw goes right in your hiney and cuts you butt crack.
Oh no!
And now there's two of you too, because he was just telling you to get to the hiney and he killed you.
Oh my god!
Hiney, you got chopped in the hiney.
That's devastating. And then finally, you have Logan, and you're the sole survivor. And RL looks you in the eye and he says, "You know what, Logan? You're all right. I know you're not going to make the same mistakes as my previous pals here. May they rest in peace. God bless their souls." And you say, "RL, thank you so much. I loved most of your books. Are great. And I just want to thank." And he says, "What?" And he said, "Well, most of your books are great." And he goes, "Fuck you, you bitch." And the chainsaw approaches. You can feel its hot blade rolling around. And you actually don't die from the blade itself, but the fumes are so profuse. He's got diesel in there, and you're in an enclosed space. And you just gently sort of pass out and just sort of float away. Surely all three of you have gone to heaven. Much like all dogs.
Yeah, but even though your soul's left your body, R.L. Stine takes one half of Kiney and connects it to the other half of Cal.
Yeah.
Just kind of like when you get two different cookies and you mix them together, like two different Oreos.
Yeah.
And then much like what I would do when I mix those two Oreos, he stuffs you whole into his mouth and swallows you. he eats your bodies. And that's why only kids can read Goosebumps, because when you get too old, R.L. Stine will come and eat you.
He will. He'll chop you right in half. Right, Chainsaw?
Chainsaw, say something.
Chainsaw, meow.
Hey! Chainsaw! He doesn't want to speak.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll make him speak. You keep talking. Chainsaw, say something to the people.
Okay, well, here we go. Chainsaw's on the mic. Hot mic, Chainsaw. Hot mic. You got anything? Anything to say? Got any words of wisdom? Are you just a little boy? Are you a sweet man? Yes or no? Sniffs. Pause. Anything?
He's got nothing in that. He's got nothing in that peanut little
so
brain.
Freaking cute. Okay, and so I think before we leave you guys, we want to just talk a little bit about our... Do you want to talk about like our faves? Go out on a positive note.
Oh yeah, Fave Books.
Fave books?
Yeah.
Like top 5?
You got a list?
Yeah, I would say not even in a particular order.
Same.
But I do think off the dome, I got a spot in my heart for Haunted Mask.
Yep.
I think that's going to be in the top. Stay Out of the Basement, I think, is great. That's just a unique story that I don't know, that wasn't even approached again. That sort of storytelling and the uniqueness of like the quote unquote villain. That's like part of your family.
And also, your dad chops another one of your dads in half. It's a mystery too. There's a lot of red herrings and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And like eating dirt out of a bag and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. I also think I think I would put Ghost Next Door in my top 5. Bless. I just think I don't know. I think I have a nostalgic attachment to that one in particular, where it's like when I was a kid, it literally made me cry. So I'm gonna say that, and I'm also going to say, fucking The Girl Who Cried Monster.
That was, I believe, my favorite, my number one when we were halfway through.
That might be my fave. And then to round out the 5, because that's 4, I think, right? So to round out the 5, I think I Live in Your Basement.
Yeah.
Is in there. So that's probably it. And there's, some honorable mentions for sure. Like I liked Curse of Camp Cold Lake. I did not like Camp Nightmare. I remember that.
Yeah.
And even Ghost Camp was all right, and like I like the settings of like a How I Got My Shrunken Head or a first
Deep Trouble,
sure, yeah.
Splash and Bout,
and Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, like I like that. But those are my top 5. What about you, Dave?
So I'm gonna say Ghost Next Door. The more I think about the books, Ghosts Next Door may be one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think I really like the psychological horror that R.L. Stine did. So Ghosts Next Door and I Live in Your Basement are the two that are like really stick out, as well as Curse of Camp Cold Lake.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where it's like, am I dead? What's going on?
Yeah.
And it's like, in the beginning, we had the kind of idea that like, and I was a ghost the whole time.
Yeah.
And that was a joke where we, like I said, every book will end like that. In the end, the three that are the closest to that were my favorites.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if those are my three, in between those, I'll probably put Mask and The First Dummy are just really good.
Yeah. Wait, did you have one of those three you said was Girl Who Cried Monster?
Girl Who Cried Monster is one of my favorites too. Yeah, I think it's Ghost Next Door, I Live in Your Basement, Cold Lake, Girl Who Cried Monster. These are in no order, of course.
Yeah.
And then that final spot, I feel like it's like a three-way tie between Welcome to Dead House is so good.
Yeah, that's a good... Yeah, I forgot that in my honorable mention. It's a good first entry.
I just feel like Dummy and Haunted Mask are good. If you want three Goosebumps books, like what are Goosebumps? Give me Goosebumps books. I'd say Haunted Mask, First Dummy, first two dummies. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all there is in the original. But like Welcome to Dead House is one of the ultimates. Also Ghost Beach. Not one of my favorites, but it's really good.
Yeah.
So I recommend that too. Do you have a bottom five?
Man, I mean, I think we kind of went over it a bit in like the hardest ones to get through. But like Chicken.
Do you want my five and let me know if it's the same?
Sure, yeah.
Bees.
Yeah.
Chicken. Mm-hmm. Let's Get Invisible.
Okay.
How I Learned to Fly.
Yep.
Hairiest Adventure.
Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Those seem to be the worst. There are some other real stinkers, but
I think,
and maybe Monster Blood 4.
I would trade out one of those. I would maybe trade out like Let's Get Invisible for Monster Blood 4. I mean, I don't really like Let's Get Invisible.
Let's Get Invisible, I feel like sucked. If it was a later book when we had less to do, it would have been like our patience was still there for that book.
Yeah.
But like literally, it's just them like being like, "Hey, can I come over your house and get invisible?" And then they do, and it's just like, "Hey, last night I got invisible. Well, it's my turn to get invisible."
It's like a book of edging where they're like, "Oh, I can be invisible longer than you can."
It's like fucking Sting. It's just like, just let me come already.
But it's like the threat is at least a little scary, where it's like, well, the consequence, the stakes are you disappear forever.
Yeah. So Bees, Chicken, How I Learned to Fly, Hairiest Adventure, Monster Blood 4.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, those all.
I also don't like Don't Go to Sleep, but at least it could have some fun with the worlds that he wakes up in.
You jump around, so it's at least new every now and then. Where some of them it's just over and over and over. Yeah. So those are our least favorite.
Love it. Did we do it?
I think we're done. Well, now we want to leave you guys with some recommendations.
Yes.
Because people are like, what will I listen to? It's like, well, fucking get ready.
Let's
Hold out,
do that.
Get your pen and paper.
No, take out your phone, open your little podcast app, and start following some shit.
So let's go through guests of our podcast.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. So you heard from our father earlier.
Yeah.
Eric. Adventures in Collecting on Instagram. It's AIC Pod. Close friend of ours, of course, our dad. He started off just doing a toy podcast with his brother that started off with just kind of in the culture. Now he has interviews with the people who create the toys currently and have created toys in the past. Super interesting, in-depth interviews with everybody. And it's one of those things, like if you've watched Toys Who Made Us on Netflix, fun documentary. It's just like hearing about how everything gets made. He literally gets to talk to those people. You like Lego Masters?
I love Lego Masters.
He has had the hosts of the American Lego Masters on multiple times. He just had Amy and Jamie on for an episode discussing the new things.
Yep.
I mean, it's just Migos, toys that are super old and coming back. He had the guy who created the modern action figure in a very much way. Also, the lady who made Wrestling Buddies, the Cabbage Patch dolls, and even My Pet Monster from the 80s. He has had everybody on there, and it's super interesting to hear their background and just, he also had like professional wrestlers on. It's super interesting and a lot of fun, and they're just local Jersey guys, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we'll be on. I'm on every single Halloween episode, so we'll have to come back, do a Calling All Creeps revival. So
Yeah.
expect that. So you were just talking about Isaac.
Yeah, friend of the pod Isaac has a podcast with co-host Chris Demoulas, and they that show is called Pick Your Take, and it is very simply just a in-depth discussion about a particular movie. One host likes it, the other one does not, and they each sort of argue their case. It's fun. It's not contentious. It is informative. I mean, they run through the stats on the movie, the director's body of work, all the actors that are involved, and actors that often won't get their due, right? Like maybe on bottom of the call sheet or whatever. Like they go through and discuss just really informative and instructive and useful, and sort of arms you with a way to speak about movies that you might not have previously had. Just really, really enjoyable. A lot of great episodes there. The most recent episode is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And but they've gone all over the place. They've had fun with like Space Jam 1,
Nice.
Stuff like that. So it's a really great listen. It's just fun to they're both like film majors and they know what they're talking about, and they're good dudes. So I would check that out for sure.
Another guest, we have Carl, good friend. Where's the Witch?
Hell yeah.
From there. He
Shout out.
has a video game book club podcast with co-hosts Alex and Curtis, people within the VGM music scene across the East Coast. Actually played all over the U.S. Basically video game music. This is a Final Fantasy podcast. I had not played a Final Fantasy other than Final Fantasy X because it was cheap on my plate. Hey, chainsaw! He's trying to get our attention. He's scratching my couch. I'll hit him.
Come here.
No, I won't hit him. That's rude. I would never do that to my tiny little son.
No, he's a beautiful boy.
Basically, it's every effin' FF,
Every F and FF.
which stands for every fucking
Oh my God. he
horse
said it.
cock. Every effing FF, every fucking Final Fantasy. So far, they have gone through Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy I. They just finished a year and a half around of Final Fantasy X and are currently starting Final Fantasy IV. You can hop on at any season. It's a book club. I did not make it past the super hard mountain part of Final Fantasy X and learned what came after to the point where it literally subverts the idea of religion and killing God. And I wish I learned more and thought more about it. It's something where they figure out what's going on in the game story-wise, but also delve into the music, as they're all musicians themselves, the scripts, what's going on, the translations, and the cultural impact of what it means altogether.
Yeah.
You realized, this was a cool anime game looking in a certain time, but how does it have to do with the war in Iraq? It's crazy. It's very, very good, and highly recommend them, and they're very good boys. So
Yeah, there's not a better dude than Carl. So
Yeah.
definitely check that out.
trying
And we have our haunted friend Ashley.
Yep. Along with our good buddy Adam.
Yep.
Of the Graveyard Gallery store in Butler, New Jersey. The only horror all year round store in New Jersey.
Nice.
A lot of awesome stuff. He works and makes masks on his own. He now has that horror store. This rug that we have right here is from the Graveyard Gallery. Beautiful.
Nice.
From Creepy Co. He has everything from masks, of course, to horror licensed properties, things like that, to one-of-a-kind oddities. You can buy a human skull. If you ever just need a human skull to, have your Cheerios out of, you can buy one there. And Ashley is on his podcast. She became a guest, and now she is, one of the mainstays there on the Lloyd's Pub podcast, where they go head deep into a bunch of different horror movies. So another one of our buddies there. Trying to think of other guests with podcasts that we've had. That might be.
I think that's it.
I mean, we got Lou Morg. You can always look him up.
Yeah,
Lou,
get a tattoo from Lou.
Critical Hit Tattoo.
And Ant.
And Ant, too. Art from Ant.
And then get some art from Gene as well, right?
Gene at melt.jpg.
Mm-hmm. .gif.
.gif, that's it. Sorry.
GIF, sorry.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
He's a moving one.
Look, I know moms like you, they choose GIF, so that's fine.
Any other podcasts that you just really enjoy?
I mean, these days, I only have capacity for like dumb podcasts like ours, honestly. I guess that's sort of a realization I'm having in real time is like, I know this podcast is largely stupid because we make it that way.
Yeah.
And I just like that. I think like it's fun to just like goof around, and like that's what I like to listen to. So I think all the podcasts I listen to are comedy podcasts, save for in the fall. I like to listen to. I guess it comes from like NPR Studios. Ultimately, is the parent company. WNYC. The Spook. Do you listen to Spooked?
No.
Spooked is a compelling podcast that's just like, people tell their stories about like creepy shit that's happened to them, and it's. I think I talked about this on Ashley's episode.
Yeah.
That she should talk about it, but it's there's production value that's great, but it's really just like a lot of the times it's interesting because it's like dudes who aren't really storytellers, and I mean all kinds of people who aren't really storytellers. I say dudes because it's like you can tell there's like hardened like tradesmen and stuff who are like they just re-released this one because they have a season coming up, and it was about like this guy who painted houses for years, and he went into a house when the family wasn't there, and he didn't believe in the supernatural, of course, but he's painting, and it's just as simple as like a thumping upstairs and footsteps that get louder and louder until it's banging, and it just freaked him out. So he kept like leaving the house to have a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, whatever, come back. Eventually he called his son to help him, and his son heard the same thing, went upstairs, nobody there obviously. And eventually they left, and the guy gets home, he gets out of the shower, and he asks his wife, he's like, my back hurts, what's on my back? Of course it's scratches, right? It's like a human hand. It looks like a long, slender person's hand, but it's like nails, and he's scratched, and it's red and irritated, and they actually drew blood. And he didn't realize it till he got home. And then on top of that, so you're like, all right, like this is bullshit or whatever. But if you buy it, which I do, I have no reason not to, although I'm prone to believe anyway, they found out more about the house, and one of the kids who lived there told this guy's son later, he's like, oh yeah, all kinds of crazy shit happens in that house. He's like, when we moved in, my parents got it for a song because they had to like redo it and stuff, and they ripped up the carpets, and in the floor, not even painted, but like carved into the wood were pentagrams and 666 and stuff. And I was like, fuck that. Like, that all adds up to something I want no fucking part of.
They sent the bill to the people who own the house, and there was like a hillbilly outside who was just like, sending a bill to who? Nobody lived here for about 100 years, I tell you.
Yeah.
He's just like a guy. He's just like, he's got a farmer's tan, even though he's only wearing overalls.
Yes,
and he's got the
say.
straw. He's be like, yes, old Jackson family. They died 100 years ago. There's not even a house if you turn around. And he turns around, there's no house.
Nothing there.
What did you paint with? He's just like, where's my paint? That's just a bucket of blood. By the way, boo, I am a ghost as well. And
You're dead.
Yeah, he fade away.
Cuts his throat.
Yeah.
So
scary.
So anyway, so short of that, what I listen to are just comedy podcasts. I like, I've been listening to a lot of the Sloppy Boys. I love the Sloppy Boys, which is like a cocktail podcast, but they used to be in a sketch group called Birthday Boys, and they also have a kind of like a jokey party band, same name, Sloppy Boys. I like the show Freedom a lot with Paul F. Tompkins, Scott Aukerman, and Lauren Lapkus. Doughboys. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah. Well, we also forgot, this is one you can listen to old episodes on. Highly recommend. 2 of our previous guests, Dave from the Deep Trouble episode, as well as Ed, our buddy and our sister podcast, the Bailey School Dropouts.
Yes.
and that is what's the acronym?
Age of Enfrightenment.
Age of Enfrightenment.
AOE.
AOE. And that is basically the same thing about adventures into fear and just odd stories and stuff, and it's very well
really cool
researched
shit.
and fun. They have other episodes that they have worked on, and I learned already they're just waiting to relaunch at some point, and I really hope that happens.
That's great.
That'll be a lot of fun. Another podcast I think is very close to ours. If you like the Upright Citizens Brigade or just any of the comedy that comes out of UCB, then you should look up Blank Check.
Yes, with Griffin and David. But more importantly, what started Blank Check is one of my favorite things. I recommend this to everybody. It is the Phantom Podcasts. In the beginning, it started off as a Phantom Menace podcast, where they are going to make a podcast only about the Phantom Menace, but treat it as if this was the first Star Wars movie to have ever existed, with no other Star Wars knowledge. Wow.
And they're going to look at it for its story, with no subtext or anything, the acting, everything, and they delve into the making of it. They learn about the actors from Shakespearean theaters that went through and acted in it and said, I will never work with George Lucas again. Every little bit of it. And then once that episode ends, they're like, well, we got to find a new movie to do it. Georgie did it. Georgie Boy did it. There's something called Attack of the Clones? And they go through every Star Wars movie in order numerically and act as if you don't know what's going to come, and it's fascinating. And they have so many incredible guests, and it's hilarious. So I highly recommend that. On top of that, I listened to Too Many Hockey Podcasts, which came to an end.
Yeah, I used to listen to some baseball podcasts, but my tolerance for that, like, I'll like it now and then, but
I mean, mine are very team specific. I like NVC Nintendo Voice Chat, that is from IGN. Brian Altano from The Comedy Button is part of that. Highly recommend The Comedy Button, just a good group of friends. Max Scoville, another incredible content creator. The Besties is fun if you are a McElroy fan. Griffin and Justin McElroy, as well as their friends from Polygon. They go through every single week. They say, why shouldn't the best friends in the world pick the world's best games? So they just go through every new video game that comes out. I enjoy keeping up with video games and that. Recently, I found Ranger Danger, which is some Australian friends who have watched every single Power Rangers episode and comment on it. You can go all the way back to Power Rangers in Space, which seems to be the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
So I've just been listening to these Australians laugh about Power Rangers, a kid's show, as adults, and it's a lot of fun. And my fiance and our good friend Peter and I have a Pokemon podcast. It is a study on every Pokemon, starting at Pokemon number 1.
Hell yeah.
We are currently all the way through to Growlithe, and we're going from the first, hopefully, to the end. But that, if getting through every Goosebumps book was tough, then getting through every Pokemon's going to be tougher. Now that there's 900.
Jesus.
But we're doing them in groups. So first episode, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, Ivysaur all together. But we've been doing that, and we're going into how the I'm trying to think of the term, how the cake was made, how the whatever was made.
Sure, how the sausage is made.
Sausage is made. Yeah, there's a lot of sausage. So it's basically we go in, we learn about the Pokemon, how the coding, how everything worked, different things that were put in. Peter, our good friend, knows so much and different things, and we learn a lot of fun facts, like how Pokemon is inherently sexist in the original one, because to figure out if a Pokemon was a female, they made it the weaker ones. It's fucked up. It's a lot of stuff, and how they kind of doubled back and changed things based on the how big the franchise became. So that's something that I do as well, and that's weekly. But that is Daycare Dittos.
Daycare Dittos. She'll be full-time Ditto now.
It's a fucking joke in Pokemon. It's a Pokemon joke about fucking.
Oh yeah.
I'll still say common stuff on that. It's about like Pokemon, and like kids will be like, "Oh, you have a Pokemon?" 'Cause someone at the comic shop will be like, "Hey, I listened to your episode," and they're like, "Oh, you got a Pokemon? My son loves it." And I'm like, "No, talk about dicks."
Yeah.
Like,
do not tune in.
Yeah. Like Weepin' Bell is the fleshlight of Pokemon. That's known. It's just anyway. So that you got a lot to listen to. There's a lot out there. Also, Craig stuff. Craig, our buddy, comic shop. He has the Disney Dunces. Check that out. It's a Disney podcast from people who don't give a shit about Disney. That's the fun thing. You know,
Yeah.
the people who care and know everything about the Disney parks and movies. It's not them. They're just going through and they're watching like Disney Channel original movies that fucking suck. So
Yeah.
it's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
How long has this podcast been?
5 or 6 hours.
If you have one thing that you want to leave our friends with, what would it be?
I think I've made enough like fart and butt jokes. Well, not enough, but I've made some. And I would leave this on a somewhat sincere note, and I would say thanks for listening. And Dave, I would say to you, I'm glad that we can that we started this. We're in your car talking about Goosebumps, and said, wouldn't it be funny to do some kind of a show or something about Goosebumps and on the show say, like, wouldn't it be funny if one of the titles of Goosebumps was Curse of the Wizard's Jizz?
Yeah.
And then we like did it for 3 years. So
I just think about the growth in that time.
yeah.
Like, there's been a pandemic. There's been so much that's happened in this
Lot
time.
of
I know
shit.
everybody talks about that, but like, well, you were already married. when
Yeah,
we
I'm a
started,
big
right? You're
boy.
there. You own a home
I am
in
a
this time. You
homeowner.
have moved. I mean, like, I'm engaged and live in a different town. Like,
You
there's
are
been so
engaged.
much growth
Yes.
personally through us
Mm-hmm.
throughout this time.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that's always remained the same is Goosebumps.
Yep. It's a
We've
constant.
made new friends through it. Fake Mike Jones, where you at? There's so many
Mm-hmm.
people. We can just go and just start rambling off names and people that
and we know who they
have
are.
all been there. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just,
How about you, Dave?
this is something we were going to do forever.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I want to say. Like, we were going to do this. The whole conceit, like, we didn't advertise this out externally.
No.
Ever.
Yeah, I don't talk about this.
No, we literally told nobody. We never did a targeted ad. There's no Facebook. It literally existed as an Instagram, and that was it. I put it up on Reddit like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
That's all the advertising we did, and we were going to do this if nobody listened. So
Yeah, that's sort of how I think of it.
yeah, it was just something for us to do together, and just that people latched on and we made friends and together. That's what's important. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
And feel free to reach out and hit us up there. We're keeping that Instagram up, and I'll
keep
check on
the-
it and everything. Like,
Yeah.
if R.L. Stine does something fucking dumb, then we'll post it.
Sure.
Like, I'm gonna post random Goosebumps things and stories and shit. Why not?
Yeah.
So hang around.
Hang around downtown by myself, and I had too much time, and I was thinking about myself.
Well,
Okay, goodbye.
well, the other thing I wanted to say.
Okay.
If all these listeners and people doing it, if you really are upset that this is done, why don't you fucking do it? I'm serious.
Yeah, get off your ass.
Why don't you do it?
Read, do this again.
No, literally do this.
Yeah.
I would listen to you guys do this.
Oh, yeah.
Like what we did is not original. Other people have done this, and other people are doing this. It's
Are
just
doing it
you
currently.
read it, and everybody has their own takes, and it's interesting. You fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's a call to action. That's like,
Yeah.
go for it, man.
Click here. Make your own podcast. What do you remember from book?
ReadAllGoosebumpsOnline.com.
Read all
You can
Goosebumps.
check it out. If your book doesn't come from Amazon in time, you could just get the PDF there. That's just a quick fact.
There you go. Yeah, they're widely available.
Yeah, that's true.
Get a lot of them on eBay or, like a quote unquote lot.
Yeah.
Or shopgoodwill.com.
Yeah. So like we say at the end of every podcast.
You know what we didn't talk about for like most episodes is harrystyles.org.
Oh, shit. I still own that.
Yeah. So go to harrystyles.org. You have a little link tree there. You could
I
find
don't
us.
even know what links there are on there.
I think to our Instagram and stuff.
I guess so.
And Spotify.
We could just have our own website at harrystyles.org from now, and we could just do whatever the fuck we want with harrystyles.org.
Just us hugging or something.
Yeah. We'll be
Okay.
like, hey, I did this sick coloring page recently. I did a coloring book.
You know what I want to show you live before we sign off? We could end on this note. I wanted to post this to our Instagram. This is what I found on a hard drive.
Is it porn? Oh!
I'm showing Dave a picture of us from 2009. at the Madison Hotel.
Wow, ties were so much wider back then. Look how wide my tie is.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're both interesting in this photo.
Your hair looks great.
It is wild.
Your hair in that photo was like cool for a guy with a guitar back then.
Sure.
But it has been adopted by like moms now, right?
Sure. It's a bit of a bob.
I love it. Very good.
Bob's your uncle. See you later.
Bye.